The decline of smuggling also raised questions about industrialisation. I have often said that the West Country is what England would look like if it hadn't industrialised. But why did that not happen here? Well, why build factories when goods could be smuggled in cheaply? Perhaps in some ways we were our own worst enemy. Although, I, for one, am glad that we have kept our unspoilt natural environment much better than many other parts of the country. An exception to the industrialisation, however, was Cornwall. Early industrial efforts there, such as tin mining and innovations by pioneers like Richard Trevithick in steam locomotives, were crucial to the Industrial Revolution. Trevithick designed steam pumps which were able to pump water out of mines, allowing deeper mining in more difficult terrain. He also experimented with steam-powered carriages to transport goods by road and rail, developing the first steam engine even before Robert Stephenson. It was called the Penny Darren locomotive. However, the Industrial Revolution in Cornwall ultimately collapsed. The tin ran out, and when it did, there were no other industries to fall back on. Unlike the Pennine area, which developed mills and factories, Cornwall was at the very tip of the West Country peninsula. Far from its markets, it lacked the road or port network needed to move goods quickly. Unlike the Pennines and Midlands, which had strong canal and road connections and were in the heart of the country, close to big population centres for markets, even at the earliest stages of the industrial period. The West Country, without this infrastructure, was at a big disadvantage. But as time progressed, we worked with that which we did have and began to integrate more with the rest of the country. Tourism began to emerge, as seen with the Osmington White Horse. Weymouth became one of England's earliest tourist towns, attracting visitors like King George III, which it commemorated with a chalk statue of him sitting proudly atop his horse overlooking the bay. Weymouth loved King George III, and there is a highly regarded statue of him in the town centre on the seafront to this day. However, sadly, local legend suggests the king misinterpreted the White Horse's orientation as a sign he was unwelcome. You see, rather than riding towards the town, the White Horse shows the king riding away from the town. King George III interpreted this to mean the townsfolk wanted him to leave, and so he did, and never returned. The designer of the White Horse tragically is even said to have taken his own life as a result of this costly misunderstanding. Despite these setbacks, however, the economy of the West Country was changing. While the agricultural bedrock remained, gradually becoming more enclosed and efficient over time, there was a gradual shift away from piracy and smuggling towards tourism and industry. Religion also played a role in societal change. Methodism, popularised by John Wesley, emphasised personal understanding of Christian teachings, encouraging reading and education, not just attending sacraments and getting your children baptised or being married in a church. Further to this, Methodists also established schools, often teaching the poor to read and write for the first time. On Portland, for example, Methodism spread modern English, replacing the older dialect and creating a transformative societal shift across all the southwest communities where they operated. By the 18th and 19th centuries, the southwest was well moving away from its smuggling and privateering heritage, integrating with the rest of the country, innovating technologically and relying more on national rather than local defence. During the American Revolution, for example, the French Navy briefly terrorised local fishermen at Torbay. With no privateer vessels existing anymore, the towns did not look to themselves but appealed to London and the Royal Navy for protection instead. Whether we liked it or not, we were no longer in a position to look to our own defences, but increasingly relying on central government for our protection.